Hi guys. Oh, my voice. Yes, welcome back to today's video. I thought I'd do a video on all of my watercolor supplies, so what I prefer to use for any watercolors and stuff. So I guess we can do this in sections. I'll go through the brushes that I use. I don't use a whole lot of different brushes. I tend to use only a couple of different sizes, and I try to buy artificial, what do you call it? Brushes? Over sable ones, just because sables come from squirrels and I don't know where that squirrel has been or how it's been treated or anything like that. So I generally try to opt for artificial bristles. That's the word that I'm looking for. So I only have a small set of brushes that I use. These ones are all artificial, and I tend to use these more. I dropped one. But I'll show you this. These two are sable brushes, and I've had them for a long time, and I have no idea where they've actually come from. I don't even think this is a watercolor brush anyway, but sometimes I use it for like big things. It doesn't have a name on it, but it's good for when you're wanting to wet a large surface area, but I don't often use this brush very much because I don't really have a purpose for it. I don't really do large things either. The next brush, this is the one that I use quite a lot. Again, it's a Sablinski Art Spectrum brush, number 8, so that's the size of the tip, I guess. This is a really good brush. Not sure where it came from again, but I think it was quite expensive. So I generally try and take care of my brushes by putting the cap, making sure they're washed, and putting the cap on so the bristles don't get damaged. But yeah, I mainly use this one a lot. It's quite good, and yeah. The next lot, these are just, they're not expensive, these brushes, and I use them quite a lot. They're Robert Wade brushes, whatever that means, and they're just they're fake squirrel hair bristles. So this is quite a small one. It's good for doing like little details and stuff. And yeah, so the bristles were originally white, so that's why they're a little bit stained, because as soon as you use watercolors, they stain the bristles. And that was in a size 2. This one's a size 6. Again, it's quite small brush, and pretty good for doing little fine details and stuff as well. And again, it's the fake squirrel hair. Next one is a size 16, and that I use this one quite a lot as well. It's a really good brush, and I always try to keep it clean as well. Seeing as I do smaller watercolors, sometimes I tend to go for the small tips, but this one is good for, I'm using it more and more, I'm finding, so in my galaxy paintings and stuff like that. The next one is a size 24, and it's the same deal as the rest of them. It's got a big wide tip on it. It's good for collecting water and pigment and all that stuff. So yeah, so they're pretty much all of the brushes that I use. Like I said, the maroon ones aren't very expensive, so they might be like $15 to $20 as opposed to like $70 for a sable one. But yeah, so you don't need special brushes. Oh my god, I keep dropping the small one. The next, I'll go through the paints that I use. So I used to use a whole lot of different tube paints, mainly from Winsor & Newton. The Cotman watercolor paints. They're quite good, I don't mind them. And you obviously need a palette for them to spread a little bit out. They're really good pigment, and they don't like clump or anything like that. I'll open the black one, maybe you can see what it looks like inside. They're really, really nice and smooth, and a really overall nice paint, and really good pigment and stuff like that. And they don't have like separation or anything. And I've had these for quite a long time, and they don't have a weird smell or anything like that, but really nice pigment and really nice colors as well. easy to use, and I just store them in a little container. So I have a whole range of different colors: browns, yellow, greens, reds, oranges, blah blah blah, and obviously black. The next ones I use, I've only got a few of them. I don't like them as much. They have a weird smell and there's a little bit of separation in them, so yeah, I tend not to buy these, but I don't know where these came from, to be honest. But they're Art Spectrum brand. I think they're an Australian brand. Yeah, there you go. I've used the purple one quite a lot because I use purple in my galaxies quite a bit. And you probably can't see, but there's a little bit of separation there. And this one's always had a weird smell. It smells like burnt toast or something. It's probably obviously the purple pigment, but you can see here it's separated a little bit. I don't know if you can tell, but there's a little bit of oil separation. So yeah, which is a bit of a shame because it was a nice colour, but I just don't think they're top-notch paints. Again, sap green. It sort of came out of the tube, but nice colour. But again, it's gonna be a disaster. Okay, back on track. Yeah, so I probably wouldn't recommend the Art Spectrum watercolors. I just didn't find them very nice. But the watercolors that I do find nice, they're probably my favorite watercolors. I only got them recently, but I'm very, very impressed with them. Now they're called Koi Watercolors by the brand Sakura. Let's focus. Yeah, Koi Watercolors by the brand Sakura. And they're really good quality paints. So they come in these little trays, which come with a whole lot of different things for watercolors. So it comes with this little tray that you can take out and use as a palette. You can see that I've used the palette quite a number of times, and that just sort of sits in the roof, or the lid I should say. It also comes with a little paint pen thing that you can fill up here, and it comes with the brush, obviously, that the water comes out. I don't really use this. I haven't used it before. I should give it a go to see, obviously take that out and fill it up. Yeah, so it comes with this like a little travel sized one. It comes with a little sponge as well, and all of the watercolors that here. They come in different size sets as well, so I think this is like the medium size, but I'd be interested to get the full set as well. Good range of colors. The pigments is really, really nice. It's really strong pigments, and yeah, it's highly recommend this brand of paint. And again, you can mix everything on the palette that you get in it as well, but it's really, really good. I also have a version, a metallic version, so I've got some really nice pigments in this one, where it's a bit more metallic, and some fluoro versions as well. I only just got this, so I haven't used it too much, but I'd really be interested in using it on some galaxies to, you know, have some bit of shimmer and stuff in it. But again, I'm sure they'll be very, very highly pigmented and good quality, because I really like this palette. That's my favorite palette, so I'd highly recommend using that for any of your watercolors. The next is paper. So there's a couple of papers that I use that I prefer, and you know, you can get papers from all different types and roughness, smoothness, way it's pressed, and what it's made out of. And there's two main ones that I like. So the first one is Arches watercolor paper. I like the medium 185 GSM. It's A4, and I don't know if this doesn't say if it's cold pressed or anything, but It might be heat pressed, but that's the paper that I prefer. I have a rough one as well, but I haven't used it yet, so I'm not sure whether I actually like it, but this is the one that I prefer to use. It's not the cheapest of paper, but it comes in a pad. I'm pretty sure you can get it in big sheets as well, but yes, I prefer to use this one. I'll show you what the paper looks like. So the paper is kind of, I don't know how well you can see, but it's kind of a little bit rough, but it's not too rough. It holds and distributes water really well. So you can see here the painting that I did. It holds vibrancy really nicely along with pigments. This was painted in Winsor & Newton, and the texture of the paint is quite nice. One side is smoother than the other one, the other side is quite rough. I've painted it on the smooth side. It's probably the back side, but it worked pretty well. So overall, I think that paper is one of the best paper that I've used personally. I like the way it just works with everything. So if you can get your hands on some of this, then go ahead and get it. The next paper I use is probably my favorite paper. I like everything about it. So it's Cardi papers. Do you see that? It's Cardi papers, and it comes in a whole range of different things. So basically this paper is made in India. It's handmade from recycled clothing, and all of the people, or cotton rag, they said, and all of the people are paid appropriately, and it's very what do you call it, conscious of the climate. So there's not a lot of runoff and stuff like that. Everything's reused, so it's very economical and stuff like that. But yes, I like how it's just raw and rough, and I like the texture of it. I like that it's recycled, and the people that are paid appropriately. It's not like a slave labor type thing. So each paper is sort of different from each other. They're not all the same, and you can get them in a whole range of different sizes. They've got a really nice texture. They hold water well, something that I drew on it. They hold water well, and yeah, a really nice paper. They also come in like little booklets as well, so you can paint something in the booklets. Sometimes the booklets, or some of these things, because they're handmade, and sometimes they have a bit of a musty smell, but I haven't really experienced that. And again, Cardi papers. So if you can grab Cardi papers, I highly recommend them, and just because of what they do and how the people are treated and the environment's treated and stuff, I highly do recommend their papers. But you know, you can get different types of paper that you like. I tend to like the ones that absorb water a lot as opposed to repel it a little bit. I've used a couple of different papers, but yeah, I always end up going back to Arches and Cardi paper. So they're sort of some of my favorites, and I like the raw edge of the Cardi paper as well. So that is pretty much it for my watercolors. If you're after any of my watercolors, they'll be up in my shop in the watercolor section. They also come in prints, so if you don't want to pay for the original one, they come in prints at a much cheaper price. So yeah, check it out, creaturesofnat.com, and see what you can find. And thanks to my patrons for supporting me. I do appreciate it. If you want to support me on Patreon, you can find it in the link below, and my Instagram and Facebook at Creatures of Nat as well. Anyway, that's it for me today, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!